This is the Modern Vibes on Vibes Radio.
Morning Vibes 145 Vibes Radio. Very, very good morning to you, Nairobi, Kenya, Africa, and the whole world. Yes, I hope mko fine as we start off this a long week. Tunahofia vitu zitakuwa too fit. You know, this is an electioneering period. We're left with 36 days.
Yes.
I believe ni 36
even
days.
Less. I think even less.
35.
Yes.
35 days, 20 hours and 48 minutes to go.
Hey.
I'm telling you, things are thick.
They are.
Yeah, nakumbuka, you can actually stream live. We have a serious conversation we're about to get into. You can stream live on our YouTube, that is at Vibes Radio KE. Pia Facebook, same. Na pia website www.vibesradio.co.ke. And today I'm very honored because tukuna really heavy panelists hapa hivi. Tukuna, of course, nominated MP David OLE SANKOK. We also have UDA youth leader Maina Karobia, who's not new to the show. And then also tutajoiniwa Ruth Ambogo. She's a political analyst affiliated to Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance.
Yes.
Karibuni sana.
Asante sana.
Hesh.
Yes sir.
Hapa ni first time yako Vibes Radio, sindio? This
kabisa.
Is today, eh?
Na nimesikia ni ama vijana.
Na ni sisi ndo watu wa reggae sasa. Sisi reggae will never stop. Sisi ndo watu wa ground. Karibu, lakini weekend ilikuwa sawa?
Weekend ilikuwa sawa, tunashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu. Nimeamkia asubuhi kuja asubuhi kutoka Narok.
God bless.
Narok iko sawa.
Maish.
Yes.
Mambo vipi?
Poa sana Kev.
It's been a minute, eh?
It has been a minute, but tunashukuru Mungu. Ametuweka uhai.
Yes.
Na asante sana juu ya kunialika hapa Kev na Brian.
Na Mr. Brian, this is my co-host as well.
Yes. Tuko sawa lakini
Sa, unajua?
Mimi nataka kujua the state of the nation. There's so many stories going around.
Yeah.
Yes, Brian.
As we move towards the election, and I would like to ask you just one question. Is this election going to be, what's the prediction like? Is it going to be fruitful? Because sababu saa zingine we usually look at it like from a point of reason that Azimio, sijui nani, sijui UDA, but is it going to be beneficial for the rest of the nation? In as much as maybe we're definitely going to get a president, but is it going to be beneficial to the nation? What's your thought, Mheshimiwa?
Ya kwanza nataka kuhakikishia kwamba hii uchaguzi ambao tunafanya in 35 days itakuwa uchaguzi ambao iko na amani na ambao itakuwa na mafanikio makubwa sana kwa wananchi wa Kenya, haswa wakichagua UDA kwa sababu umeona tumelaunch wa manifesto na ule mwenye alifuatilia kwa karibu sana aliona hiyo manifesto sio tu kwa kusema tu, iko na kila kitu, iko na details, and I think I will ask Kenyans waende wasome sana hiyo manifesto kwa sababu wakishasoma watajua ya kwamba ile shida ambayo tuko nayo ni kubwa sana kwa saizi. Unga saizi ni 230. Kurefill ile gas ya 5 kgs you need more than 2,000 shillings. Na hapo 2018 ilikuwa 600. Unga ilikuwa 95. Mafuta ya gari petroli ilikuwa 90 shillings na saizi ni 160. Kwa hivyo tuko katika shida kubwa. Ile matrilioni ya pesa ambayo tumeomba kutoka nje ni mingi sana.
Hiyo ndio inatu affect ama?
Hiyo ndio inatu affect sana kwa sababu vitu mbili inatu affect ndugu yangu. Ya kwanza tumeomba sana na ile kuomba hatujatumia venye ilikuwa inastahili. Ndio sababu unasikia KEMSA bado wanasema bilioni 10 imepotea. Ujui kampuni nyingine parastatal lingine bilioni kila pahali inapotea. Kwa hivyo hiyo ndio kwanza inatu affect sana. Alafu ya pili ambayo inatu affect ni ya kwamba tuko na serikali mbili sasa. Tuko na serikali ya Rais Uhuru Kenyatta ambayo ndio legitimate, ambayo ilichaguliwa na iko na mshahara yake na iko na allowances yake. Tuko pia na serikali bandia ya Rais Bonoko mwenye alijiapisha na sasa hiyo pia inahitaji allowances. Umeona wakitembea na ndege ya serikali, inatembea na magari ya serikali na hiyo yote inatumia mafuta. So hiyo pesa ya kulipa ile serikali ya pili lazima ipatikane kutoka kwa ushuru na hiyo ndio inapandisha bei ya vitu mingi.
So asante sana Hesh and Maina.
Yes.
I just want you to react on the same question. You unaona hii election itakuwa about what? What will determine the winner? I mean, tumecheki pia kuna manifestos hapo hivyo in the touching on important things, mambo ya health, education, manufacturing, you know, security. What will really determine the success of this election to the winner?
Kev na Brian na msikilizaji wetu. Tumesema hii uchaguzi ni mambo ya uchumi. Kutoka mwanzo ile pande nyingine ya Azimio wamekuwa wakiongea mambo ya kubadilisha katiba. Lakini sisi watu ambao tuko UDA na Hustler Nation tumekuwa tukisema kwamba uchaguzi ya 2022 Agosti ni uchaguzi kuhusu uchumi. Na true to it, siku hizi tunaongea mambo ya uchumi. Hata nimeona Azimio japo wanaendelea ku struggle, at least wanakuja hii pande ya uchumi kuongelelea uchumi. Ndio maana yake tumekuwa tukisema kwamba hata kukikuwa na hizi sarakasi mingi, sijui nani alikuwa anataka kupigwa kofi, sijui nini, uchumi ndo kitu ambayo ita determine uchaguzi huu ambao unakuja Agosti. Na ndo tunataka mwananchi atakapokuwa anasikiliza wanasiasa aangalie nani ako na agenda mzuri.
Yes.
Tumekuwa tukisema sisi kama watu wa UDA na Kenya Kwanza, sisi tuko na plan tulizidua pale Kasarani. Ningeomba wananchi wasome hiyo plan. Tuko na soft copies na tuko na the hard copies. Mwananchi asome hiyo plan ambayo ilizoduliwa na His Excellency William Samoei Ruto. Ndio aweze kujua kwamba mimi nikienda kupigia serikali ya Hustler Nation kura, naenda kuipigia kura kwa mambo ya health, kwa mambo ya sports, kwa mambo ya education, kwa mambo ya small and medium enterprises, wale akina mama boga, vijana wa boda, mambo yote imezingatiwa kwa hiyo plan ambayo
ilikuwa published on the Standard. If you can try grab the Standard for Saturday, it was published there.
Yes.
And they put it hand in hand with Azimio na UDA
kabisa.
So mi ningetaka tu kuuliza swali moja before Kev jumps in. Deputy President William Ruto has been in government.
Yes.
Even constitutionally, hata sasa tukiongea bado yuko ndani
kabisa,
unaona. Na bado anatupatia promises. Ngoja, bado anatupatia promises kwa manifesto. Most of the things he said in 2017, 2013 have not been implemented up until now. Unaona, stadiums, sijui barabara, sijui nini, hizo vitu zote zilisemwa, hazijatendwa mpaka saa hii. And now with the divide, unaona, yeye na president ni kama kidogo hawapatani. Kimaongeo na pia kimawazo ni kama hawapatani. So ningependa tu kujua, what assurance are you giving us that deputy president akiingia ataweza kuchange vitu? Yet 2013 haja change, 2017 haja change, na wezi sema hajakuwa kwenye kiti, na yet deputy president is an electoral position. Sio position ya kuappointiwa.
Yes, wacha nikwambie Brian,
anakula mshahara bado.
The buck stops with the president. In a democracy, in a democracy, the buck stops with the president. Yeye ndo ako responsible kwa kila kitu.
Yes.
Wewe ukiwa kama naibu rais, kazi yako ni kufuata masharti. He is the principal assistant of the president.
Yes.
That is what democracy is. Huyu naibu ya rais akijaribu kufanya kitu akina Hatuoli na watu wa sarakasi kama hizo wanaanza kusema anaanza kujua sana kuliko president. So ile kitu ningetaka kusema ni kwamba tuko na naibu ya rais amefanya kazi. Mimi ukiniuliza in terms of scoring kama deputy president, amejaribu sana. Yeye ndo amekuwa akienda kuarticulate agenda ya serikali kwa wananchi. Amekuwa akizunguka
but president akubaliani na wewe, anasema huyu ni even just this weekend. Wacha nikwambie kitu moja, DP amekuwa akitraverse the whole country akichapa tu domo.
Wacha nikwambie, mimi unajua nimekuwa nikizunguka na yeye the last 5 years. Na zile vitu amekuwa akienda ni kuarticulate agenda za serikali, akisema mambo ya barabara zimetengenezwa, projects za serikali ambazo zimetengenezwa kwa ground. And I might surprise you, mimi nimeona stadium moja imetengenezwa kwetu Kiambu, inaitwa Kirigiti Stadium. So hiyo ni Kirigiti Stadium, sijui pati zingine, lakini kwetu mimi nimeona stadium kwa kaunti yangu inaitwa Kirigiti.
Okay. Mheshimiwa, ya kwanza nataka kuwaeleza vizuri ya kwamba tujiulize kwa nini Kibaki alikuwa makamu wa rais kwa muda mrefu.
Yes.
Lakini hakufanya chochote akiwa makamu wa rais, lakini wakati alikuwa rais tunamkumbuka kwa yale yote ambao alifanya. Ndiye alifufua uchumi ya nchi ya Kenya, lakini akiwa rais. Wakati alikuwa makamu wa rais hatukujua Kibaki alifanya kazi gani. Kwa sababu kikatiba venye ndugu yangu amesema hapa, makamu wa rais ni principal advisor to the president. Na kama unapatiana ushauri kwa rais, unapatiana advice, ni jukumu la rais kukubali advice ama kukataa kuchukua advice yako. Kwa muhula kwanza wa Jubilee 2013 mpaka 2017, rais alikuwa anachukua mashauri kutoka kwa naibu wa rais, na walikuwa pamoja na walikuwa wanafanya kazi pamoja. Hata mlikuwa mnaona mpaka suti wanafaa ambao inafuanana, inafuanana na wanafanya kazi pamoja. Na wakati huo tutaweza sema ya kwamba tulitimiza yale yote promise wananchi, at least 80%.
Yes.
Kwa sababu wewe unaangalia mambo ya stadia, lakini hatuku promise stadia peke yake, tulipromise 10,000 kilometers of tarmac road, tumefikisha 11,000. Tukatimiza last mile connectivity, ambao unajua hata nyumba ya nyasi wanahakisha sasa stima, hata ile manyata yetu ya Wamasai tunahakisha stima huko ndani kwa sababu ya last mile connectivity. Kitambo ilikuwa ukiwa na nyumba ya mawe na wewe ni mbunge ama rafiki wa mbunge ama rafiki wa DC ndio uko na stima. Tulisema mambo ya free maternity na ikakuwa. Tukasema mambo ya standard gauge railway. Wewe umeona standard gauge railway sio kitu ya ati hujaona. Kwa hivyo kuna labda kitu moja ambao hatukutimiza, lakini zingine zote tulitimiza, tukapata 80% kwa sababu at the end of the day hata wewe ulifanya mtihani ukupata 100%, ulipata 80% which is still an A. Kwa hivyo mimi nikiangalia muhula wa kwanza ilikuwa sawa, lakini muhula wa pili 2018 kukatokezea handshake. Rais akamutulate the constitution illegally kwa kutumia presidential order number 1 kuassign duties ambao katiba imempatia naibu wa rais, akapatia Matiang'i. Na hiyo ilikuwa makosa kwa sababu rais kama angeona hawezi fanya kazi na naibu wake wa rais ambao walichaguliwa pamoja, the honorable thing ambao rais angefanya ni kuresign na kurudi kwa wananchi na kusema sasa running mate wangu ni Matiang'i, aone kama atachaguliwa wakiwa pair kama Matiang'i. Lakini yeye alimitulate constitution illegally na kuassign duties to another person, ambao tunasema kutoka wakati huo ila agenda ambao tulikuwa nayo ni big four agenda. Hiyo tu ndio haikutimia.
Okay, it's fair enough, Mhesh. So ukiangalia, okay, clearly tunaongea hapa story ya the promises na manifesto, but there's another third horse, ama niseme another narrative imeingia sasa kwa mix. We're talking about sasa the Ganja Nation courtesy of Wajackoyah. Na watu wanasema Wajackoyah ameharibu hesabu ya DP deadly sana. Hii narrative ya Ganja, anataka kulegalize marijuana, snake farming, clearly watu wana relate nayo sana. He's getting a lot of attention from the youth. My question to you is, unadhani Wajackoyah inaweza cause runoff?
Kulikuwa na watu kama hao hapo awali, kina Dida walikuja na wakaenda nao, walilete some sarakasi. Wajackoyah ni rafiki yangu sana, na I wish him all the best. Lakini hii haitabadilisha anything kwetu kama Hustler Nation. Kenya kwanza, we are sure we are still intact with our 60-something%, which tunataka kuincrease ifike 70%. Kwa hivyo hatulalamiki sana. Lakini pia Wajackoyah akisema mambo ya sijui fisi, unajua sijui tutoe nini ya fisi tuuze ngambo. Kwanza
amesema tutafuta paka market.
Kushika fisi kwanza ni kazi, kwa sababu hii sio ng'ombe iko kwa mnanda. Hata kushika ng'ombe na kwenda kuchinja unatumia pesa.
Umesema serious.
Alafu tena another thing, ngoja nikueleze kidogo. Fisi ambao ziko katika nchi ya Kenya hasijafika hata 10,000. Ukishashika fisi 10,000, ile kazi ambao fisi ilikuwa inafanya, ambao ni biological garbage collectors. Unajua fisi imepatiwa roho ya kukula ile chakula imeoza, na hiyo chakula imeoza ndio ingelete maugonjwa mingi. Sasa baada ya Wajackoyah kuchukua fisi zote, sasa nyinyi ndio mtaenda kupambana na garbage collection huko msituni.
Itakuwa ni kazi mingi.
Fisi imepatiwa very hard jaws, ile mfupa ambao tunarusha inarusha huko msituni, yeye itaweza siaga na kukula ndio isichafue mazingira.
Nimekuwa Narok, nilikuwa naongea na mtu mmoja akasema ati yao kwanza wata benefit sana kutoka kwa maneno ya fisi, lakini hiyo tu just on a light note. But what do you think as we stand as a nation kufikia saa hii, what's your take on high cost of living? Kwa sababu tumefika mahali yenye maisha imekuwa ni ngumu. You can look at the salaries, how much money we earn per month. Nothing is added on to that, but taxation imeongezwa kwa kila commodity. Mwananchi sasa ananunua unga na 230 going to 240. Unaona? Na haijaifanyika kwa hii nchi. Any commodity, especially vitu kama unga, has never gone to that level. What's the solution, especially for this nation? Because najua kuna mambo ya uchumi mentioniwa pale, but how practical is it, keeping in mind that you've talked to us about the debts that we are collecting and the trillions. Nasikianga kwanza wenye wameenda kunegotiate hiyo pesa if they get like donors from different countries, they usually get their cut right before the amount of money is shared or is used for our budgets, and already we are in debt. So what's your take on that? How are we going to make sure that we are cushioned against the high cost of living?
Ya kwanza nataka kuambia Wakenya yenyewe tuko katika shida, na venye umesema mshahara haijaongezeka, lakini the cost of living have doubled if not tripling.
Yeah.
Kwa sababu ukiongea mambo ya unga ambayo ilikuwa 95 kuwa 230 ni zaidi ya mara 2. Na bado mshahara ni ile ambao wananchi wanapata. Lakini mimi naona kwa njia ya kwamba ni waamuzi wananchi katika 35 days ambao zinakuja kuamua kuchagua azimio, na inamaanisha Raila amesema ataendelesha kazi ya Uhuru Kenyatta. Kuendeleza ni kumaanisha kwamba kama unga ilikuwa 230 itaenda 400. Kama bei ya mafuta ilikuwa 95 shillings. Unajua hii ni kuendeleza. Sasa kama ni kuendeleza kazi, ndugu yangu.
Okay.
Yani to continue.
Abu shikilia tu hapo hivyo Mhesh, because I can see now Madam Ruth Amboga just join us.
Yes.
And they were just talking about these manifestos from the the various coalitions hapo hivyo. Tumeona wali on the 30th of June Wajackoyah ili launch yake Tingiza Miti, of course also the Hustler Nation ili launch yao. How do we critique some of these promises by by the specific coalitions? How do we hold party leaders accountable? Because these are promises tumesikia since time immemorial.
Well, kitu ya kwanza is we critique the manifestos based on the practicality of those manifestos. And number 2, we critique these manifestos based on the individuals making these promises. When I talk about practicality na manisha, for instance, some of the suggestions zenye hawa se wana make, are they even legal in the first place? Ukisema unataka kuuza madogi sijui wapi, the question becomes, is it legal?
Yes.
Is it practical, And sometimes when we are talking about practicality also, we are talking about how doable are some of these promises. Like for instance, I'm looking at the e-administration yenye inaenda. Na mimi nikiangalianga e-administration yenye inaenda, siangaliangi from the lens of mtu mmoja, na iangalia from the lens of wale watu wenye walichaguliwa kukua hapo. And that means the president plus his deputy. Some of the promises zenye walimekingi, for instance, wakisema kwamba in the first 100 days this is what they were naongelelea. So what is the practicality? Ukiambia wase that for instance utawapatia 100 million jobs in the first 1 year kukua kwa power. How practical is it? Where are these jobs going to come from, na pia unafaa uangalie pia realities zenye tuna face as a country right now. Some of the challenges zenye si tuna face sahi, they are way beyond our leadership. Ziko beyond the present leadership, ziko beyond who is in office right now. For instance, kuna bei ya vitu zingine zimepanda na iko beyond the president. Hakuna kitu anaweza fanya.
Really?
Hakuna kitu anaweza fanya. For instance, ukisema kama bei ya oil. What is affecting the prices of oil is pretty much not in the control of what the president can do. There are external factors. Ni external factors. Kuna external factors that zina affect prices za oil. For instance, the war in Ukraine. When we are talking about prices za gas kupanda, materials za kutengeneza gas itself is not even produced in Kenya. Or even if it is produced in very low volumes. So unapata that when war is happening in countries where such is produced, mafuta ya kupika, sunflower inaproduciwa in those countries penye war inafanyika. So ukikuja kuangalia prices za mafuta ya kupika zikipanda, it is honestly beyond what the president can do to achieve. So are you saying that regardless
of whatever administration itakuwa hapa hivi after elections, bado kutakuwa na inflation?
Kutakuwa na inflation, and by the way watu wasidanganyane. In the first administration ya Uhuru Kenyatta na William Ruto, vile walikuwa naingia the second leg of getting into power, and even the first time when they got into power, unajua watu ngojanga zile 100 days ndio muone wase wameza kuachieve nini within these 100 days. After 100 days of both administration ya 2013 na 2017, Kenyans wali complain that they are still in a worse position. In fact walikuwa nasema they are even in worse positions than they were before hizo administrations zingie into power. So sometimes kuna vitu zingine tunaweza promise wa Kenya, and in reality when you look at the circumstances surrounding the country, ukiangalia global circumstances zenye kila msea na face, the making change might literally be impossible. And secondly, hizo promises zingine nilisema kwamba the first one is lazima tuangalie practicality ya hizo promises, na pia lazima tuangalie the environment that we are operating under. What are some of the external factors zenye zinatu affect zenye hatuna control over. Of course course simaanishi ati all those promises cannot be fulfilled. What I mean is that some of them might be impractical, some of them might be impossible, but some of them are actually possible, yeah? And the second point yenye nilikuwa na maanisha ni tuangalie character ya some of these leaders. Do they have the ability within themselves kuweza kufulfill hizo promises zenye wana make? Ni kama for instance kuambia mwizi aanze kufight nini theft. Unaona? Ni kama for instance kwenda marriage counseling kwenda marriage counseling ati unaenda kwa marriage counselor, unaenda kuongelelea issues zenyu za gender based violence kwa marriage counselor, na huyo marriage counselor yeye mwenyewe anapiga wife nyumbani.
So
what's the character of the leader?
I want you to take a break because tumefika 8:30 already. Let's take a break, pay some bills, alafu we jump right back into the conversation. Maesh, I want you to talk about that. How do we actually interrogate hizi manifestos? And then we'll also tackle Leo clip yenye imekuwa kitrend. Uko hivyo Juneta alicheza clip flani uko hivyo Homa Bay. So I want you guys to react on it. Remember guys, you can stream live on www.vibesradio.co.ke. Also we're live on the handle @vibesradio.ke, up hivyo Facebook as well as our YouTube channel @vibesradio.ke. Good morning.
Rebels and reggae heads, start your day the MVP way, where you are the MVP, no negative vibes.
We're hanging out with Kevin and Brian. Kev Matara.
Hey, Brian is right here. Nakwambia it's heated already. We're talking about the state of the nation, touching on some of the most crucial topics and things that have been happening throughout the week, and also things that happen to us daily as a projection towards the 35 days towards the election.
Towards the general elections.
Yes.
You know, manze.
So we have representatives from different fronts, and I think watajiintroduce very fast. Mheshimiwa twende kazi.
So hey, by the way, now Mesh, because najua unafaa kwenda to our sister station chap. I just want to play a clip hapa. Nataka tusikize hii clip and then we get our quick reactions, because Wakenya wengi wamestuka, wengine wanasema "Hi, come on, you guys overreacting, hizo ni majokes." So have a listen, alafu tuchambue hii maneno.
Kufika State House nikakuta rafiki yangu wako hapo. Sitaki kusema alikuwa anafanya nini, kwa sababu sisi ni wazee. So ndio huyo sasa hii maneno sijui nini, mimi sitaki mimi nataka kwenda Ichaweri, wewe sijui sasa mimi sitaki, wacha tuachane na hii kitu. Mimi nikamwangalia nikamwambia, wewe ni vile tu nilikuwa na heshima, ningemchapa kofi. Ati sisi tuache, ati tutoke hapa.
Umesikia hiyo maneno Mesh?
Hiyo ni baada ya nullification of the election. Na DP Ruto alikuwa anaongea na wazee kutoka jamii ya Wakikuyu.
Yes.
Kueleza venye ilikuwa na venye Uhuru alikuwa karibu ku give up. But as a good friend, akamuhimiza na mpaka kumpeleka Boma waende wakule nyama kwanza na waanze campaign ya kwamba we cannot surrender.
Yes.
And I can only tell you to read the book of Proverbs 27.
Wacha nifungue. Nimeona watu Proverbs 27 alafu.
Yes.
Mheshimiwa Proverbs 27.
Inasema aje?
A slap from a friend is better than a kiss from an enemy.
Wow.
Na unajua ile kiss ya Judas Iscarioti ndio iliteletea hii matatizo yote yenye tuko naye kwa hii ulimwengu. So hii hata haikuwa slap. Na unakumbuka Yesu pia wakati mwingine alichapa watu wenye walikuja kuuza vitu katika kanisani. Na hiyo kiboko ya Yesu ndio ilifanya hao waokoke, na ndio sababu alienda mbinguni. Kwa hivyo a slap from a friend is better than a kiss from an enemy.
A friend who is your boss and happens to be the president.
Because there was no slap. It was just jokes ya kwamba nilikuwa na yani ile tu kusema nilimlazimisha ya kwamba we cannot give up.
But don't you think he need disrespect? Let me tell you. Yeah, I mean talking about the head of state like that, joking about slapping him.
No, if Ruto was egocentric and selfish, angemwambia yes and Aishawiru. Alafu immediately the deputy president becomes the president. If Uhuru have given up, it was not Raila to become the president. It was Ruto to become the president. Lakini kwa sababu yeye anaheshimu
constitutionally, yes.
Constitutionally. Kwa sababu anaheshimu mkubwa wake. Na kwa sababu anampenda, akamwambia hatuwezi give up. In fact, it was just a joke to our elders of Kikuyus kuambia hata kama ni makofi tungempiga makofi ili asi give up.
Do you think it will affect affect his votes? Maybe
haiwezi affect kabisa, kwa sababu those are just jokes that people normally make, and vitu yenye na sisi wote tunajua ya kwamba naibu wa rais alikuwa na nia mzuri kwa rais. Lakini kabla sijaondoka, kwa sababu hiyo ni kitu kidogo ambayo hatuko supposed kutumia muda mrefu, nilikuwa nataka kujibu dada yangu Ruth. Alafu dada yangu Ruth, kwa sababu ameongea mambo ya in Ukraine ndio imepandisha vitu zingine, lakini Wakenya wanajua ya kwamba kuanzia 2018 it have been consistent, vitu zikiendelea kupanda polepole. Hata sio mafuta imepanda kwa sababu ya in Ukraine ambayo imeanza 2021, zilianza kupanda kuanzia systematically kuanzia 2018.
So unasema ni handshake ilipandisha vitu?
Mimi nasema, unajua nilikuambia tulipata gharama ya kugaramikia serikali ya pili, alafu tukapata pia a lot of corruption. Hiyo ndio imepandisha gharama ya maisha. Na dada yangu Ruth amesema ya kwamba manifesto ambao tumepatiana itaweza kuwa implemented. Is it practical? Let me give you a small example so that I can go. One of them ni mambo ya, because mimi ni mfugaji, ni mambo ya livestock. Tumesema ya kwamba in Kenya we import 25 million pairs of leather shoes. Yet we slaughter in Kenya 3 million cows every year annually. Are you getting? Now, and 1 million cows die annually out of drought. And we lose 95% of those hides and skin. So if today we decide that we will not import any leather shoes, we have already a market that is 25 million pairs of shoes. And again, we have cows because we will slaughter anyway. Simbado mtakula tu nyama. So we will slaughter anyway. In Australia, the price of hide and skin is more expensive than the price of meat. So ile ng'ombe ambao Masai ama mfugaji anauza 30,000 saa hizi, atakuwa akiuza plus ya ngozi ambao labda ni 40,000, atakuwa akiuza 70,000. By that already we can implement because we don't need any capital. Another one is an example of manufacturing, where we said already we have 7 million Kenyans with disability in Kenya. Kenyans with disability.
Yes.
They need assistive devices like calipers, like hizi crutches nimekuja nazo. And we have around 400,000 wheelchair users in Kenya. Each wheelchair costs around 30,000. That means Kenyans are sitting on a metallic gadget worth 12 billion. A business of 12 billion. If we put a factory here through private public partnership, we can easily have a market of 7 million Kenyans with disability and a business worth more than 50 billion, because kama wheelchairs peke yake ni 12 billion, then ukiadd crutches, walking aids, calipers, hearing aids and the rest of all the assistive devices, then we can have a manufacturing company that is worth more than 50 billion.
So Ruth, quick one before we talk to Maina, can you just have a response to that? Joe amesema he was actually just responding to you.
Hiyo maneno ya coffee.
Your coffee bana. Anasema hii kitu ni it's nothing. We're overreacting.
Yeah. Well, I think kitu ya kwanza, when you talk about a slap from a friend, my friend, the president is not your friend when it comes to his personal security. Jokes, kuna jokes zingine we can entertain, but certain jokes reveal the personality, reveal your character, reveal who you are. In leadership, kuna vile mtu unaweza sema something na ufikirie this will just pass, but in reality ina reveal what you would actually do when pushed to the fence.
Yes.
Mse anajaribu tu kusema mimi nikipushiwa to the fence, this is how I would react. And some of these things Kenyans hatufai kuchukulia kama light jokes.
Yes.
Kwa sababu inamaanisha mse mwenye akiwa in a position of ultimate power, which would be the presidency, there is no telling ni nini anaweza fanya. So for me, as a Kenyan, first of all, na ukumbuke kwamba we've had incidences where there has been watu wakisema unajua security ya president kuna time ilikuwa almost breached kidogo. So ukianza kusikia jokes ka hizo, you actually have to get worried as a Kenyan citizen. For me, ina reveal character na personality ya deputy president, inanionyesha that if this guy gets into a position of ultimate power, how he would behave, how he would react. Ni mtu mwenye upon provocation, in moments of extreme and intense, uko na stress, kuna pressure, You don't know what this guy would be able to do in such moments. So I think statements zingine watu usemanga lightly ukifikiria ni jokes, but in reality watu wanaanza kukuangalia wakijiuliza what kind of a person
unadhani it cost some votes.
It might actually
especially
cost
in the mountain, considering the president is from the mountain.
Exactly, it might actually cost him some votes, you know. Na ukiona Kenyans, ukiona imefika mahali where Kenyans were beginning to question and doubt, or even Wakenya walikuwa wanajiuliza what happened between the president and the deputy president. This could be some of the reasons that led to the rift between the president and the deputy president. And personally, as a Kenyan, I am waiting to see more revelations coming forth. If these are the things that are coming out, I want to see more. I want to understand more, because this could actually be the reason why there was a drift and a rift between the two of them. They have always said, sijui nini tuliachwa nje ya serikali. But what if this is one of the reasons why? You know, what if the president anaangalia na anasema this is the kind of person that I am dealing with? Because I'm sure the president clip kama hiyo ilimfikia kitambo sana. Hiyo ni clip ya kitambo. Sisi ndio tunaipata saa hii. So personally ina reveal character ya deputy president, ina reveal mtu mwenye ni mtu mwenye akiwa under intense pressure, mtu mwenye akiwa under intense moments, mtu mwenye akiwa when the situation is tough and the road hits the rubber, he can do anything. There's no telling what he can do.
Okay, there's that, and it's also in the 48 laws of power, being an absolutist is also one key element of power. So ni sawa ukisema hivyo. One thing I do not agree is Azimio using this for campaign, because ni campaign season. Umesema hiyo clip labda hata president alikuwa nayo before, and of course with the security that we have in the country, that clip has been there. Unaona context, alikuwa anaongea na wazee wa kutoka wapi? Kutoka mlima Kenya.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who he was talking to.
Yeah, this week.
Exactly. So I would like to just know, are you using this as a campaign tool?
The fact that anasema the fact that anasema, I personally assumed ni clip ya kitambo. The fact that anasema ni clip ya sahi, then my God, we are in campaign season. This is a clip, a statement he made during a campaign season. In statement alitengeneza during
propaganda.
Ngoja, hakuna cha propaganda. This is a clip that was out there, and it is the deputy president's voice. He has not come out to say, aja come out kusema ati hii si clip yake. Kama ni propaganda ni ile kusema mtu amesema kitu na hajasema. Alisema
kulikuwa na evidence. Sawa.
Brian, we are discussing trivial things. What determines this election is the economy. We are not interested with personal relationship between the president and his deputy.
I think Kenyans
when I will be going to vote, Kev.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
He back and forth with the president and his deputy.
Let me give you the scenario, the ideal situation of our elections. As a young person, I will not be interested with the relationship between the president and his deputy. Those are personalities. How they relate with each other is none of my business. I'm only interested with the state of the economy of this nation. Let me tell you, it is propaganda and it is not factual to say that the prices of the high cost of living in Kenya is caused by the war in Ukraine and Russia. Actually, the oil and gas exports imports in our country, we depend so much on the Gulf products, the Saudi Arabia, UAE, those countries, Qatar. We don't so much depend on Russia and Ukraine in terms of gas and oil in our country. So it is not factual when you say that the prices in our economy, the price of food products in our economy are being affected by the war in Russia.
So what is affecting it?
It is actually the state capture in our country.
Handshake.
Everything has been captured by oligarchs. The rich people or the wealthy in this country, they have captured every aspect of our economy. And that's why we said in our manifesto, we are going to have a commission on state capture in this country. Because if I want to invest in milk today, already there is a monopoly that is controlling that sector. If I want to invest in technology in this country, already there is some individuals who wants to know my business interest in that particular sector. If I want to invest in communication or media industry, there are some people who have captured that sector such that if I want to invest in that, there is a lot of monopoly tendencies in our country, and that's why we said we want to take this country back to the people. We want to remove it from selfish individuals who think that they own this country and they can own the ideas that we have. Let me say this, Kev. You have given the Azimio formation their time to spew propaganda in this show. But I must say this.
Yes.
As a youth. Mimi sitasikiza mtu ananiuzia stories za bangi. Mimi sitasikiza mtu ananiuzia mambo ya madre. Mimi nataka kusikiza mtu ambaye ananipatia mambo ya job, mambo ya education na mambo ya healthcare.
Right.
Kijana wa pale mtaa hataki kusikiza mambo ya drugs.
Drugs nini?
And this is a clarion call to
but alikuwa nasema it's just for farming purposes.
Let us not give individuals who are selling drugs. Individuals who are selling manifestos that are based on Vijana Fire and Vijana Ria.
Yeah.
Those are not people that we should spend time listening. We want people who are spending time telling us what they are going to do for us in terms of employment, in terms of healthcare, and in terms of affordable education.
Speaking of what we're going to do for us, Gachagua, the running mate to the deputy president last week alikuwa nasema that if at all wata capture power, state power, he will revisit some of these cases that he has na yataenda ku unfreeze some of his accounts. Na alikuwa anasema hiyo pesa sijui itafanyiwa nini, nyama nini. My worry is in fact not my worry. My question is, unadhani hizi statements zake zita affect votes za Kenya Kwanza?
You see,
are you worried about his statements?
Let me tell you, Kev and Brian, and
considering the fact that he has court cases, corruption cases in court.
Offshore, I said here that people are already decided. They know the right candidates. They know the people that can change their lives. In this election, people are interested on people who can give decent living, people who can bring political stability, people who can assure them that their future is guaranteed of stability in terms of the economy. People are not interested with the bias roadside declaration that have been made.
So unasema hizi statements have no effect. No, nothing.
I want to agree with what Mheshimiwa is saying here.
Yes.
Kenya Kwanza is not angling at a runoff.
Yes.
Kenya Kwanza is assured of a 60% win.
Yeah.
When we will be going to the election, we are already sure of 60%. When we go to the ballot, we are already sure that we are going to win.
But when you have court cases, if you have court cases, then you haven't been declared, what's the word? Basically you're still not free. Hizi cases ziko hapo, apparently some money ilipitia kwa account yake. We're talking about 12 billion. Then you're saying regardless tutapata power, I'll freeze my accounts.
By virtue of IBC having cleared Gachagua as a running mate, means that he is clean.
But they'll revisit the cases after the election, isn't it?
And I think if he becomes president, if becomes deputy president in the next government, there's tenure of office, so he's not going to be interrogated as much. But let's not forget that we've elected two people who are already having a court case in ICC. So let's not be afraid that it's IBC this, IBC that.
What do you have to say?
Maybe kumsaidia ndugu yangu ya kwanza amesema mambo ya state capture. Nataka kuwapatia example, a very live example. Kenya Airways is supposed to be a parastatal. Lakini iko na ndege mbili tu peke yake. Zingine zote ni ya mabunyenye ambao wanakomboesha Kenya Airways at exorbitant prices in which Kenya Airways will never make any profit. That is why Kenya Airways today have a customer base. All government officers must travel using Kenya Airways within and outside our borders. Yet they make losses. Kenya Airways charge more than any other airline. Small airlines like Fly 540, 748, I don't know what, they make profit, yet Kenya, and they charge very little. In fact, Mombasa is 11,000, Kenya Airways is 30,000. But they still make losses. You know why? Because hii mandega ambao iko hapo imekomboleshwa to Kenya Airways na mabwenyenye ambao ni leaders in this government.
But tunasema mabwenyenye, if we start nile tu, we don't want to mention names.
We don't want to mention names.
But it's families
but we know
families that have been running this country for the longest time.
And they have run the government.
And it's not friends, it's not families only, it's friends of the family as well.
Exactly.
So, and even in the next election, no matter who we choose as our president, they already are affiliated. They already have ties.
No, I just want to.
They already have ties.
I want to assure you, that's why I'm bringing you to what we are now saying as Kenya Kwanza. And that's why we have said we will have a commission of inquiry into state capture. That there will be a conflict of interest.
Yes.
If you are the leader of the government, meaning you are the leader of that state corporation, the leader of that parastatal called KQ. Na wewe ndio unaleta ndege yako kujikomboesha. So inamaanisha ni kama kupatia mtu wa nduthi, kumpatia pikipiki na umwambie nataka 10,000 every day ulipe, atakuwa akideclare losses throughout because nduthi cannot make 10,000 per day. Ile bei ambao wanapatiana nayo kwa ndege ambao hao wenyewe ndio leaders ya serikali haiwezi make any profit, and that is why Kenya Airways is always declaring losses.
Okay.
Juzi tuliweka 100 billion ili kuresuscitate. So what we will say is that Kenya Airways hakuna conflict of interest. If you are the leader of the government, uwezi komboesha ndege yako Kenya Airways enda ukomboeshe another airline. And then ile 100 billion ambao tunapatia Kenya Airways ili kuresuscitate, tutachukua hiyo 100 billion tupatie 1 million Kenyans 100,000 each. Kila 100,000 itaanzisha biashara ya saloon, ingine M-Pesa, ingine kiosk, ingine itaanzisha carpentry shop, na tutakuwa na 1 million entrepreneurs, meaning 1 million new taxpayers rather than having KQ ambayo ina declare losses kila siku.
Okay, so
an individual.
I want us to move forward. Ruth,
yes.
Let's talk about Mount Kenya politics. Tumeona hapo Martha Karua, the influence ameleta kwa Azimio. We've also seen Gachagua, a very very powerful campaigner. So far, unaona, how would you rate it? Who's doing a good job for the sake of their coalition?
Yeah, just to add on, must we have a person from Mount Kenya in order to make any of the fronts a little bit popular? And why is it that in every election we must have someone from the mountain?
Well, first of all, I think it's a bit too late to it's a bit too late to answer that question. You know, that's a question
but
that
it's futuristic as well.
I understand. That's a question that should have been determined before all these people chose their running mates. But then second, just for the practicality of it all, it's a question of numbers. Elections are about numbers. They're about numbers. Wherever you go, globally, locally, continentally, it's about numbers. So you want to win. You don't want to create a perception. You're not going to an election to tell people that, you know, an election can be all inclusive. You're going, at the end of the day, you're not judged by how you proved that it was all inclusive, by how you proved that our election was non-tribal. You're judged by did you win or did you lose, you know? And then second, when we look at the two running mates from the two leading camps, I think how to judge who is doing a better job is a question of how the numbers are shifting in terms of what percentage did each of the two control before they picked their various running mates. And clearly, I don't even need to go to the numbers. I don't even need to start pulling out what Tifa is saying or what everybody else opinion polls are saying. The reality of the matter is that Azimio has gained in numbers. Azimio has grown in terms of the population of people that are following Raila Odinga. Azimio's
in the mountain, of
the
course.
perception, the perception that Raila Odinga had within the mountain has fundamentally shifted. And I know wanamkubali perception inaanza kuchange because unajua hiyo Martha Karua anaenda kuongelesha akiwaambia this is the person that I have decided to trust, that kama mimi mwenyewe nimeamua kumtrust, you too can trust him. And you can even see, I mean, from you don't even need to do mathematics. You just need to go and listen to what the people are saying on the ground. Kuna a huge perception change, and the numbers might not be significant in terms of, you would not say that 60% of the mountain is now controlled by Raila Odinga. For us in Azimio, for as long as we have even as low as 20%, we are good to go, because initially tulikuwa tunajua that was not our, hiyo haikuwa ground yetu, you know, from the word go haikuwa ground yetu. Tulikuwa tushapiga hesabu zetu tukijua kwamba Mount Kenya si mahali penye tunaweka hopes zetu. But once we picked Martha Karua and the numbers increased for us, good to go. And in fact, we are even pushing to get even more numbers from Mount Kenya. Na najua wase wa tangatanga wakisikia hii story wanataka kudispute na watasema vitu watasema, but the truth of the matter is perception imechange, numbers zime increase, watu wana follow Raila because of Martha Karua have grown, and that is an indication of a win for us.
Maish, Martha Karua mewa threaten nuko deadly. What do you think about the ground?
You know me, I come from Mount Kenya.
Okay.
So I might be talking from a point of authority and from the point of knowing what is going on in Mount Kenya. Martha Karua is struggling. Raila Odinga is struggling. Not even Uhuru Kenyatta, who is the chairman of Azimio, is brave enough to have a rally. To have a rally in Ishaweri. To have a rally in Ishaweri.
Really?
To say Raila Odinga.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, my brother. Let me tell you, my brother. Nobody in Mount Kenya can wake up and go and tick.
But tunaona kwa TV rally zimejaza Martha Karua. What are you talking about,
my
bro?
Friend, the governor of Martha Karua in Kirinyaga will be from UDA. The senator of Kirinyaga will be from UDA. The MP of Martha Karua will be from UDA.
But she has added some numbers,
Let me tell you, my friend. Ruth, I agree with Ruth. What she has said. that politics is not about perception.
It's about winning.
It's about winning. It's about numbers.
Yeah. Okay.
Martha Karua is only giving cosmetic support to Raila Odinga.
Oh my goodness.
But when it comes to numbers, when it boils to numbers, that's when you are going to realize the strength of Reggae Gachagua in Kenya Kwanza. And
so,
let me tell you.
Yes.
Let me tell you. Whatever the choosing of Reggae Gachagua as the running mate of William Ruto has only boosted what William Ruto was getting in Mount Kenya region. And let me give you an example. When we came to
ongea pia lugha ya ground
wacha nikwambie lugha ya ground na mimi nakwambia from experience. All the by-elections that were conducted, and I was privileged by virtue of my my position within UDA. I was privileged to participate in all the by-elections that happened in this country, particularly in Mount Kenya region. When Tifa and those other opinion polls were being released, they were giving the UDA candidate 20%. But when it boiled down to election, they were shooting at 70%.
Okay.
When it boils down to the by-election itself. So Tifa and those other propaganda machineries that have been procured to run opinion polls might be given the perception that Raila Odinga has gained anything in this country. But the truth of the matter is, when elections, when the cat will be bailed by Chebukati for people to go and cast the vote, you realize that Martha Karua is only giving cosmetic support to Raila Odinga. In Mount Kenya region, let me surprise you. In Mount Kenya region, we identify with William Ruto as the spokesman than any other person in Mount Kenya.
So he's the kingpin huko.
Exactly.
We're at the top of the hour right now, guys. It's Atatu. When we come back, I wanted to wrap up this conversation, but we'll touch on the IEBC preparedness, and we'll also talk about the insecurity when it comes to some of these rallies. Tuliona nili lifanyika Kisii na in the northern part of the country. We'll touch on that. But right now, Dennis Aseto, I can see he's preparing to tell us what is happening in the world of the news. Guys, maintain tu hapo. Stream live on www.vibesradio.co.ke at vibesradio.ke. You're with Kevin and Brian on the Morning Vibes. Good morning. Tuende kazi yala.
This is the Modern Vibes on Vibes Radio.
Hanging out with Kev Matara
and Brian Aseli. We are hit it right here. Mjadala imekuwa ni moto juu ya moto. And it's not even a joke. We have people representing both fronts.
Yes.
And kunoma hapa hivi. Introduce yourself real quick. Just the names.
Ngoja kidogo. Haya, Maina twende.
Maina Karobia from UDA. Yes.
Youth leader hapo hivyo UDA.
Yes. Ruth Ambogo Azimio.
One Kenya Alliance. Msahau hiyo part.
Kusikia One Kenya.
The registered name Azimio.
Really?
Azimio la umoja.
But Maina, nasikia, okay, you know me, I know it's not professional for me to say fununu. I need to have facts. But just forgive me, Sai. Nasikia kuna vurugu huko UDA. Some people don't want to use the Kenya Kwanza logo. Kuna watu wataki kuenda kwa marali na Gachagua. You know, people like Kina Kabogo and Kuria. Is this a fact?
No, the fact of the matter is that
wanasema is a hothead. Anakasirika na watu sana.
No, the fact of the matter is, you see, Gachagua is a member of UDA. When he goes to a rally and sells the UDA candidate, I think in due respect, it is good he sells the UDA candidate
first,
but before
anything
anything else, because he is a member of UDA. He is a running mate as a UDA candidate also. But in Kenya Kwanza, we have our own internal ways of dealing with issues. Those things have been dealt with at a higher level, and we are at peace.
That's why you have issues.
Yes?
Umesema kumekuwa na issues.
Hakuja kuwa na issues.
Amesema
hakuja kuwa na issues. Nimesema any issue that can be brought on board. You know, I'm reacting to what you're saying.
Of course, yes.
Which is a perception that you might be wanting to create. You don't have issues.
No, really create. Nakuambia tu vitu zina happen kwa ground.
The real matter of the things is that we don't have issues in Kenya Kwanza. We are united, and we are united by the virtue of the economic struggle that is the ordinary Kenyan is having. Ours is an issue of the economy. Any other things that might be happening is secondary. That's why I said even the clip that you played here, because I didn't react to it. Those are secondary things. They are not going to refocus us from the real matter. The real matter is the economy and delivering and restoring the economy of our country.
So last week Thursday, Maina, we saw an incident too. Sijui kama ulikuwa unaona hiyo rally ya Azimio. Martha Karua was on stage in Kisii kwa rally. Kidogo maze tia tear gas canister hapo hivyo explode.
Yes.
Helter skelter nini and there's also another one similar incident tuko Northeastern, right, where people were actually throwing rocks kwa stage. Kwa tupa mamawe manze. What are your thoughts about this insecurity and what can politicians do to stop it? Because we know where we are from as a country.
You see, my good friend
Kevin.
Kev,
Yes.
and Brian, you cannot remove violence from ODM.
Come on, you can't
This is
say
the truth of the
that.
matter.
You can't say that.
You can't
I know.
remove-
Listen,
Brian,
listen.
this is the truth
No,
of the
let me
matter.
cut you short. This is a national platform, and sometimes when you're saying such things, it becomes more of
Usikwe
you talking.
partisan.
No, I'm talking from the real the real point of ODM.
As if there's no violence in UDA.
Listen, Brian. This is something that has been consistent. In fact, I was surprised. At one point, I was asking myself, why? It means that ODM has been really sanitized. We are not seeing violence. But whatever you have been seeing in Northeastern and what you have seen in Kisii, that's the brand of ODM. And what I would ask is that as we head to the election, let us be careful. The election is a one-day event. We need the peace of this country on 10th and going forward. So I think politicians and any political actor who is in this space of politics, whether in Kenya Kwanza, whether in ODM, let us be careful.
Right.
We have a nation to protect. We have an economy to protect. We have citizens also to give direction and also guide in terms of how they are conducting themselves. What I would say, Brian and Kev, is that this country is big than individuals. This country is big than political parties. I know the issue in Kisii was the difference
lugha ya ground. Unajua tuko na watu
Lugha ya
pako
ground.
kwa Isiolo.
Unajua lugha ya ground ni kwamba or the difference I understand issues zimekuwa hapo Kisii ni wing ya Ongwae, because Ongwae has his own preference
Allegedly,
to succeed him.
Yeah.
Na mtu kama Simbarati ambaye anatoka Nairobi anataka kwenda kuongoza watu wa mashinani huko. So kumekuwa na hizo rifts. Ukienda huko Northeastern kuna hizo the clanism that plays around.
Yes.
So I think politicians, they should be calculative enough when they are going to the ground, so that you are not caught in between by the internal or the local dynamics that are happening on the ground.
Yes. Ruth, what's your thought on the insecurities happening in different political rallies?
Well, first of all, unajua siasa watu huingia, sometimes watu kuangana different strategies za ku attract attention ya wasi, and many times you find politicians using unscrupulous means ya kuonyesha wase that I also have a following, niko na watu wananifuata. So unapata that some of the sometimes mahali violence ufanyika inakwanga in a situation where mtu akona fanatical following, and to some extent unapatanga sometimes the politician is not even involved. Saa zingine politician yuko involved, sometimes politician mwenyewe ako involved in kupanga hiyo violence, kuonyesha watu mimi niko na crowd, mimi naogopwa, mimi niko na niko na following ya watu wenye wananitii, nikisema kitu wanafuata, nikisema hii rally haitafanyika na nimesema. So I think kitu ya kwanza watu wanafaa realize is that siasa ni kitu iko period ya siasa is a very short period of time. It is not worth costing us life za wase, because at the end of the day unasikia in most of these incidences mali unapata kuna violence, akunanga haipitangi kama mtu either ameumia, hajaumia ama hata lives are lost, you know. So I think as Kenyans, this is not the time ya kupoint fingers na kusema hii camp inajulikana for violence, because at the end of the day kwa camps zote other than ya ule who is that anaitwa Mwaura ama nani huyo Mwaura presidential candidate, kwa camps zote kuna chaos, there is some form of violence, there is some form of chaos. Degree tu ndio ndio difference, unajua. Even in UDA there is violence. We've had incidences where there has been violence in UDA camps, in UDA rallies and UDA functions. So tusikae tuseme ati watu wa ODM ni watu wa violence, watu wa sijui, so sisi wenyewe sisi watu wa violence, wale ndio wase wa violence. So violence is everywhere and we must condemn it from a very objective point of view. Sisi kama wa Kenya lazima tu condemn from an objective point of view bila ku take sides, because for instance kama ile rally ya UDA ilifanyika Nairobi I think some 3 weeks ago, kulikuwa na rumors that UDA itself funded that violence, you know. Just to lay it on ODM, that ODM rather Azimio was the one that organized the same. So when we talk about violence, kuna very complicated dynamics zenye ziuingia. Sometimes unapata tu followers tu wa mtu tu wameamua tu kuamka na kusema sisi tutaonyesha sisi ndio kusema kwa hii area. So I think we need to be objective about violence. We need to condemn it regardless of where we stand, and when it happens hatufai kuchukua sides, hatufai kucelebrate tukiona msee amerushiwa mawe. Next time ni wewe utarushiwa mawe.
Alafu unfortunately we've not seen political leaders going out there talking about peace. Tunangoja kwani tunangojanga violence ndio kuna peace ama nini? But I'd urge every political leader to actually have some form of uniting Kenyans, and even the media needs to also elevate that. Unajua tunaweza kwa nasema hivyo, maybe you talk about peace in your rallies but we never actually highlight that. Mine, I'm going to go straight into this. In 35 days we're going to be casting the vote, sindio? Kutoka kwenye ballot. And I'd like to know, do you feel like IEBC is prepared for this? Because as most recently kulikuwa nile back and forth here, sijui someone has qualified to vie for a political position or this and that position, then after 2 days wana revoke, wanasema that's not true, this person is not eligible to actually vie for this political position. What's your take? Do you feel like IEBC is prepared to actually run a good or proper election?
I love just to add on that also, nasikia sahi they've given into the pressure of actually having a manual register. Is that a step in the right direction?
You see, Brian and Kev, me, I think from where I sit, IEBC is prepared with this election. The challenge would be the players. I think if the referee has been on record that he is prepared, he has been given the necessary support in terms of funding, in terms of other stakeholder support. We have seen international observers coming on board. So in terms of preparedness, IEBC is ready. The only challenge would be, are the players ready to support the process? Because when you
say the players, what do you mean?
The players, I mean politicians, the candidates. Yeah, we need to have candidates who are ready to accept results, or not people who will, after the results have been declared, they are now trying to discredit or dismiss the whole process and even dismiss the results. So we need to be prepared.
Is that your prediction that is most likely going to happen?
In all intents and purposes, we have seen people dispute results. We need to have a democracy where if I defeat you or if you defeat me, we are ready to accept the results. That is the kind of support we want in this country.
Is your party leader ready to accept defeat?
He has been on record.
Okay.
Million times. Brian, let me say this before you go to Ruth. The only support IEBC needs in as far as facilitating the election is concerned, IEBC, I think it is very ready. They have made statements, press statements. They have also had meetings with the presidential candidates saying of how ready they are in terms of register and all those things. But we find there are some candidates, every statement that IEBC makes, they dispute it. They are trying to read malice out of it. I think in terms of preparedness,
IEBC is
the
ready.
Stakeholders who are, in this case, the politicians or the candidates, they need to support the IEBC in the process.
Okay. Ruth, do you feel like there's independence in it?
As we wind up.
Yes, as we close.
You know, first of all, anytime the question of IEBC preparedness comes up, hiyo wakati tukiongelelea mambo ya elections na vile wako ready, anytime a UDA person speaks, they talk about how, you know, they are ready to accept the results, as if to imply that wale wase wengine hawako ready to accept results. Unajua kitu moja
mu sema, something you don't?
Kitu moja mu sema is, unless uko aggrieved, unless you are aggrieved, you will never complain. And funny enough, hao wasemi wananga wase wa UDA ujifanya ni kama wao wenyewe they've never had issues when it comes to results transmission, even in their own internal processes za nominations. Unakumbuka vile nominations zilienda, kuna wase walikuwa na complain from various parts of the country in UDA nominations that results zao hazikutokezea, like basically mtu amenyanganywa victory yake, that the results that were relayed see the proper results that ought to have been
which
relayed.
Particular place?
So when it comes to ikikuja the question the question of when it comes to the question of the relaying of results and the credibility ya hizo results, lazima mtu question. Ukiona kwamba credibility ya results si haiko poa. Lazima question, you have to question, you know. You can't just sit there and say because we all want to look like we are very peaceful, we are all agreeable, hatufai ku question ati how prepared is IBC, how prepared is IBC kikuja when it comes to the question of correlate the results, because I think for me preparedness ya IBC is determined at the end of the day when it comes to the relaying of the results.
Right.
Will the proper results will the results that ought to be posted, hizo ndo results zitapostiwa ama ni results zingine zitapostiwa? That's the truth. Will the system be rigged or not? You know.
So guys, I think that's it for today. Poleni mazemaina. I can see no. Anataka now pata chance ya party shot. Maina. 30 seconds.
Kev and Brian,
race to State House. What do you have to say?
This economy is about the economy. Kenya Kwanza.
This election,
This election is about the economy.
Yeah.
Kenya Kwanza has relayed its plan, and it is well articulated. It is well detailed after a consultative process in the 47 counties and with various groups. Sisi kama vijana, we had our own manifesto launch on Monday.
Okay.
On Tuesday. And it was launched by our presidential candidate. And our ideas, they were captured in the main plan that was launched by His Excellency William Samoei Ruto on Thursday. So our ideas has been captured into the plan that is going to be promoted to the people to elect it. What I would urge our people, don't be swayed by the propaganda that Azimio are trying to sell.
Okay.
Go and read the plan that was launched by His Excellency William Samoei Ruto so that you can make an informed decision. The plan that was launched on Thursday in Kasarani is a patriotic, consultative and progressive plan that is going to move this nation to the right direction. This election should be about restoring the economy from the high cost of living that has been during this handshake government.
We'll end on that, Ruth.
For me, all I will say is that yes, I agree this election is about the economy. Na ukweli ni kwamba kila mtu akona plan for the economy. Everybody, including Wajackoyah, everybody has a plan for the economy. Hata MCA akona plan for the economy ya ward yake. Difference ni kwamba nani akona capability ya fulfill zile promises zenye na make. Who has the capacity, who has the capability to fulfill those promises, and capacity na capability is measured by two things. Character ya mse, what is your character? What's your stance on corruption? Have you been involved in corruption before? Have you been involved in dirty deals before? And what is your delivery?
Yes.
Like in the past, in the positions that you have held in the past, have you been able to deliver while in office, while given a leadership position? Were you able to deliver kwa expectations zako? Uli deliver ama hauku deliver? So mambo na plans, kila mtu akona plans na plans zote zinakaa poa, because all the problems that we have as a country, the problems zenye tuko nazo kama Kenya, hata wewe mwenye hauran for president uko na solutions za hizo problems. Shida ni, can you be able to deliver?
All right.
Asante. Wewe nakwambia, for me my call is my call for peace.
Yes.
In as much as maybe we have Azimio, nani UDA, all I'm praying for is that we may be peaceful. So use your vote as a weapon of war, not your body, because people are going to use their bodies. Tunaenda kwa grau kupigania politician, alafu yule politician jioni mwenye wamekosana wako kwa bash moja, wako kishash kwa bash. Doesn't make sense, man.
So guys, thank you so much. Tumekuwa tukibonga na Ruth Mbogo, political analyst, as well as Maina Korobia, youth leader UDA. Now guys, I hope we may learn a few things here and there. The conversation continues on the hashtag Kwambox and Kev. Unfortunately, Kwambox couldn't make it. She's going to be back next week, but this whole week I'll be with my brother Brian, and it's going to be fire.
It's going to be fire.
Rebels and reggae heads, start your day the MVP way, where you are the MVP. No negative vibes.